अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्याय मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तं वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। सिन्दूरारुणविग्रहां त्रिनयनां माणिक्यमौलिस्फुरत् तारानायकशेखरां स्मितमुखीम् आपीनवक्षोरुहां पाणिभ्यामलिपूर्णरत्नचषकं रक्तोत्पलं बिभ्रतिं सौम्यां रत्नघटस्थरक्तचरणां ध्यायेत् परामम्बिकां ध्यायेत् परामम्बिकाम्. So, we are beginning with Lalita Sahasranam. Basically, what is the Lalita? The word Lalita itself represents a nature of goddess. Which nature? Playfulness. The Lalitamba or the Lalita Mahatripura Sundari represents a playful natured goddess. And Lalita also represents the beauty, the Madhurya Tattva. The Madhurya means all the sweetness. The goddess which has the all the identities and all, you can say, the pleasant nature, like sweetness, full of sweetness, like sugarcane. Each and every moment of the goddess is filled with madhurya or the sweetness. And this Lalita Sahasranam contains 1000 names of Lalita Mahatripura Sundari, which has whole philosophy in short of Sri Vidya. The Lord Shiva proposed the 65 tantras. Basically, he has proposed 64, but the 65th one, which is the most strongest, and it's called the Mukuta Mani, means we have Kirita or the crown, and crown has one mani. You can say like a special gem. That special gem is called as Sri Vidya. As the name Shri. Shri means the superior most. Vidya means the wisdom. The wisdom which is the superior most is the Shri Vidya. And that Shri Vidya philosophy is encapsulated in this whole Lalita Sahasranam. Lalita Sahasranam begins with Nyasa, Viniyoga, Dhyana Mantra, and Pancha Puja. But we are beginning with the names. If I consider names, they are just, you can say, people have written small books which have, you can say, they have only translation, but it's beyond that. Each and every name has some hidden meaning. Each and everything, and the each and every attribute of the goddess has some hidden meaning. Like if I consider the dressing of goddess, why she is wearing red? Because red represents compassion, love. And that compassion belongs to whom? Us, we devotees. Because she loves us. Because Shri Matre Namaha. She is mother to everyone. So we are beginning with the name number 1, which is Shri Matre Namaha. Shri means the superior. Again, Shri means the superior most. Matre means the mother. The superior most mother is Shri Matre Namaha. We salutate to that mother. Then, if we move to the other thing, which the Lalita Sahasranam has the most interesting, it has the rhythm like Shri Mata, Shri Maharagni, Shri Mat Simhasaneshwari. Because why it has that? Because it was created by the Vagdevis. Vagdevis means wisdom goddesses. Not only Saraswati, there are other. And 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 who spoke it? Hayagriva. Who is Hayagriva? The incarnation of Lord Vishnu. So the incarnation of Lord Vishnu is speaking, and sage Agastya is listening this. That's why it has the, you can say, most one of the most important stotra. And there, if we consider Shaktism, our Shaktism has two different schools, two major different schools. One is Kali Kula and one is Shri Kula. Shri Kula comes with Lalita, Mahatripura Sundari, and other goddesses like Kamalatmika, Matangi, which we call Rajashamala. If I consider Kali Kula, Kali, Tara, Chinnamasta, these all are the major goddesses of Kali Kula. So we are beginning and we have entered the school of Sri Vidya or Sri Kula, and our Lalita Mahatripura Sundari is our major goddess. If I consider Kali Kula school, in that Kali Kula school, Kali is the major and the most important goddess. But in this Sri Kula school, people say Shri means Lakshmi. No, in Sri Kula, Lakshmi is the last goddess. The first and the superior most goddess is Lalita Mahatripura Sundari. So we are beginning with Lalita Mahatripura Sundari's name. First is Shri Matre Namaha. I have already explained. And then Shri Maharagyi Namaha. Maharagyi, the empress, the supreme empress of this whole universe, rather I say multiverse, is the Lalita Mahatripura Sundari. And we also call Bhagwati as we call her as Bhuvaneshwari. Bhuvan Ishwari. There are 14 different realms and the dimensions. That 14 different dimensions or realms have one you can say empress, and that is Lalita Mahatripura Sundari. And if I call what is Bhuvan, there are three. Bhur Bhuvaha Swaha. In Gayatri Mantra also we say Bhur Bhuva Swaha. And these three realms, they are nowhere, but they are in our body only. Our astral body, our mental body, and our physical body, they all are Bhur Bhuvaswa. And in that three lokas, in that three dimensions, who resides? Bhuvaneshwari. That's why. And who is the empress? Who is empress and residing in her heart? She is Lalita Mahatripura Sundari. That's why we consider her as Maharagi. Shri Mata Shri Maharagi. Shrimat Simhasaneshwari. Shrimat Simhasaneshwari. She's sitting on lion, or you can say good throne. The throne? Which kind of throne? You say throne considers lion. But lion? Who is the lion? We sadhakas. Nobody else. We sadhakas are lion. Lion to goddess. But why? Because the attributes and the nature as well as mentality of sadhaka has matching abilities with the lion. Why? Because sadhaka always do sadhana as lion with such courageous behavior, such courageous feeling, so much courage she or he has, or he's so brave. He never fails. If he fails, he again tries like lion. That's why Srimad Simhasaneshwariyai Nama. The actual meaning of Simhasan is the lion-hearted or courageous sadhaka. Srimad Simhasaneshwariyai Nama. Then Chidagnikunda Sambhutaya Namaha. The sadhaka has chitta. Chitta means consciousness or our mind. In that mind, in that in that mind, when we do sadhana and tapascharya, there we can see there is tapa agni which appears. That tapa agni purifies our heart. Means tapascharya purifies our heart, and after that tapascharya, what happens? Devi appears. Goddess appears. But when the tapascharya purifies our heart, then the second agni or the second fire appears. That is Virha Agni. Oh my mother, where are you? Oh my Lalita, where are you? I wanna you. I wanna you. I only want Lalita, nobody else. When this kind of Virha or the love of separation appears, then only she appears. That Viragni, the fire of separation, when appears, that you can say that is the major and the key role, that plays key role in the appearance of goddess. Srimad Simhasaneshwari Chitagnikunda Sambhuta, then Devakarya Samudhyata. Devakarya Samudhyata means the goddess which completes the or fulfills the desires of Deva. Deva means demigods, but we all are demigods. Why? Because she's our mother. So why can't we say ourselves are as demigods? So the nature of a sadhaka, which is similar to God, similar to you can say Lalita or the demigods, that kind of your desires are fulfilled by goddess. But on another hand, when our demon mind gets activated, then she will not fulfill your desires. If your sankalpas, your desires are according to demigods, according to God, according to Lalita, then she will fulfill. Devakarya Samudita Udyadbhanu Sahasrabha. She shines like thousands of suns. Thousands of sun means she would be very, very hot. We can't go near to that. Is it like that? No. This whole sansara has fire. Shankaracharya ji also writes in one of his commentaries, this whole sansara has fire. The fire of lust, fire of anger, fire of jealousy, fire of greed. So she cools that. Though she has shine like she is shining like thousands of suns, but she has so much cooling effect, and she calms, she gives us calmness, the superior calmness which calms our heart from this all samsara fires like lust, greed, and all, which I mentioned. So then come Udyat Bhanu Sahasrava, then Chaturbahu Samanvita. She has four hands. Chaturbahu Samanvita. What does these four hands represent? Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Dharma means good deeds. She inspires us to do good deeds. Then Artha. Artha means all the materialistic desires we have, all the materialistic wealth especially. It considers Artha. She fulfills that. Then Dharma, Artha, Kama. Kama means our desires, any kind of desire, to eat good or to have good wife or anything. These materialistic desires. Dharma, Artha, Kama, then Moksha. Moksha means liberation. Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Janani Jathare Shayanam. This circle. Again birth and death, which cuts this, is called Lalita, is called Devi in any form. So the thing also comes that these four are the magic, you can say major pillars which are fulfilled by Lalita Upasana. So then again we come to Ma's hands. Ma's hand, Ma hold four things. Chaturbahu Smanita, Raga Swarupa Pashadya means she has one, you can say, noose or rope. With that, we can, with that, what she does? She, with her love, she attracts sadhaka with raga or attachment. So she attaches sadhaka with her love and compassion. Then comes Raga Sarupa Pashadhya Krodhakarankushojala. Krodhakarankushojala means her, you can say she is very very powerful, and she always put bars on our bad karmas with help of Krodha or Ankusha. Like our mind is just like elephant, and she put that, you can say, that special ankusha on that elephant mind. So that ankusha means that krodha kara ankushuchara manorupekshu danda, nothing else, but our mind is only the sugar cane which she is holding. The mind of sadhaka, when he do sadhana, continuous sadhana, doing tapascharya, what happens? Our heart get fulfilled with with the sweetness. Like each and every part of that sugarcane is sweet. The heart of sadhaka also gets very sweet. In same manner, in same manner it happens. So then after sugarcane, panchatanmatra sayaka. Panchatanmatra means our five senses, they are in control of Lalita. Rather, we say sadhaka has one more concept in mind, one more visualization. You can say that five are we offer that five senses to Lalita. Means with our eyes we will see her beautiful form. With our ears, we'll listen to Lalita Sahasranam, Lalita Trishati, Saubhagya Stottar, Saundarya Lahari, or you can say her Varta. Varta means like we are doing Bhagavad Varta. So with our skin, the skin has touch of cloth. So we'll offer this cloth to Amba and then wear it. Then comes tongue. We'll always talk about Lalita. We'll always do kirtan of Lalita as much as we can. And then we'll talk about Lalita, we'll do kirtan of Lalita, we'll do chanting of Lalita. So our tongue is also contributed. Second way of contributing our tongue to devotion of Lalita Amba is way that whatever we eat, offer it to Amba and then consume. So these are then nose. I like jasmine. I like rose. So that flowers, that special fragrance, we first offer it to Amba and then we use it. In this way, you can engage all of your senses to Lalita Mahatripura Sundari Panchtanmatra Sayaka. Okay. Nijaruna Prabhapura Majjad Brahmanda Mandala means that the you can say the redness coming from all of the divine body of Ma, that has spread to whole universe. You can say it has one eternal meaning. What redness? I have already explained it. It represents love and compassion. So that love and compassion which is coming out from her body is spreaded in whole universe. That means she's taking care of each and every being. She's taking care of even plants and animals and the small insects too. And her love has fulfilled whole universe. She's loving each and every being because she's mother to everyone. Shri Matre Namaha. We have started with that. And then Champakashoka Punnaga Saugandhikala Satkacham. We are salutating to the goddess whose shining locks, having the sweet scent of, that you can say, sweet fragrance of champaka flower, ashok flower, and punnak flower. So Sadhaka says we can imagine the Rupa of Devi, but smell, can we? But when you will do sadhana, when you will progress, then when our progress will happen, then what will happen? Our internal senses will awake. When they will get active, you will be able to smell that Ashoka, Punnak, and Champaka flower, which 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 decorates the locks, the beautiful locks of goddess. Then comes Guru Vindamani Shreni Kanatkotira Manditaya Namaha. If I consider the crown of goddess, it has very beautiful rubies because she's red. She's wearing red, and everything is red, red, red. Means she's full of love, compassion, and caring behavior. And so even in her, you can say, the kirita or the crown, she has very beautiful rubies. They also represent same thing, love. So, Ashtami Chandra Viphraja Balikastal Shobhita. Her, her forehead shines with Ashtami Chandra. Ashtami Chandra means of, uh, after your, you can say, after your no moonlight night, we have eighth day. On that day, the which moon we have. Actually, it's very beautiful, like sea. So that's why it looks so beautiful. Moreover, why moon? She has every kind of jewels. Why she's wearing moon? What does moon represents? Moon represents the calmness. Moon represents cool. Sun is hot and moon is cool. So she's wearing it on her head. So she's telling us that your mind should be always calm, always cool in any situation. Your mind should be calm and that is the representation which shows the Shiva's half moon, the Devi's half moon basically represents that. So, Mukhchandra Kalankabha Mriganabhi Visheshakam. So, she is having a small dot of that Kasturi. Kasturi is special essence which is derived from deer. So she wears that tilaka, and it looks like her face is just like moon, and a small kalanka, or the you can say a small dot on that moon. It seems like that. Then vadana smaranga mangalya grihitoran chillika. Here the thing is that you can say her eyebrows, they are like, you can say, they are home to Cupid. Cupid means Kama, Kamadeva. But what is the Kama of Devi? The Kama between Devi and a devotee. What does it represents? It only represents one thing: the true devotion or love between a mother and child. So they are represent the eyebrows represents, you can say, archways, or the archways or the entryways of Cupid. They represent only the Cupid's archway. So then comes Bhaktar Lakshmi Varivahi Chalanmeela Balochana. Her beautiful eyes are just like fishes which are moving in a stream. But why? Her eyes are so, you can say, they are so fast. But why? The reason is that she's taking care of whole universe. That's why her eyes are in every direction. And in the Divya Manidvipa, the abode of Devi, what happens? In that special abode, we can consider that there are thousands of yoginis, thousands of bhairavas. Who are bhairavas and yoginis? We all we all when we leave the body, we, the sadhaka which is doing sadhana, he will become yogini or bhairava in that divine abode. So in that divine abode, in that beautiful abode, she's having eyes on each and every yogini and bhairava. And why that eyes gives us cooling effect. That that eyes, when we see the Litamba's eyes, our mind gets happiness, and our mind gets calm. That is because of that eyes have special effect. You can see the eyes of Ambar also like the lotus, you can say lotus leaf. In that lotus petal is very tapering. So if I consider Radharani's eyes, or our divine mother's eyes, they are like that, because that that specific eye, that eyeball, and that special shape of eye makes it that the side glance is very easy. It makes side glance as very easy. So that side glance of Devi, that is for everyone. So when she looks with side glance, your each and every desire is fulfilled, whether it is materialistic or it's spiritual. So that's why her eyes are very, you can say, moving, or they are very dynamic, or you can also say it is in order to do kripa or special blessing. Navachampak pushpabha nasadanda virachita. So her nose is very shapy, like champaka flower. Very. or not only normal champaka, nava champaka means new champak flower, very beautiful nose. And then tarakanti tiraskari nasabharana bhasura, her nasal ornament, you also say it as baser, in India we say it as baser, that the brilliance of that that nose ornament, that easily beats the shining effect of Venus in the sky. Venus is very shiny, so that shines more in, you can say, in more beautiful manner as compared to that specific Venus planet. Kadamba Manjari Kripta Karanapura Manohara. She is wearing Kadamba flowers. Kadamba flowers at her ears, and that Kadamba flowers are very beautiful, and they represent Tatanka Yugali Bhuta Taponodupa Mangala. They represent orbits of suns and moons. Why I used word suns? Because there are multiple suns in multiple universe. So they represent multiple moons and multiple sun orbits. They are so beautiful and shiny, that Kadamba flowers. When we hear Kadamba, we also have one different sense, that is of Krishna. Krishna always sits on the Kadamba branch. Why? Why Kadamba branch? Because it the Kadamba is used. You can say it's you can say it's a bridge between Shaktism and Vaishnavism, especially the Vaishnavism of Vrindavana. In Vrindavana, when we do dhyana of Krishna, we always do that that in Lalita also and Krishna also, that she is in the Kadamba Vana, the forest of Kadamba. And in Krishna's case, we do dhyana, he is sitting on Kadamba tree. So Kadamba is is you can say is the bridge between Vaishnavism and Shaktism. It's shown here. One more thing which I wanted to mention is that if I consider Krishna as Gopala, and what is Lalita? She is Gopala Sundari. She is Vaishnavi, and he is Param. You can say he is the Lord of Vaishnavas. So if he is Vaishnavi, he is Vishnu, then you shouldn't do discrimination between that. Govind Rupinne Namaha. In Lalita Sahasranam, one name would come, Govind Rupinne Namaha. In also Devi Purana Mahabhagavata, there is one conversation between Narada and Shiva. Shiva there he is saying, I incarnate as Radha. And and then and what does Mahakali incarnate as? Krishna. So Krishna is Kali, Kali is Krishna, Radha is Shiva, and Shiva is a Radha. Devi Purana Mahabhagavat, it has that clear mention that they are same. So we'll end up here, and we have completed some of the verses from Lalita Sahasranam. Jai Mata Di.